Hello everybody, it's me, your good friend Sparky, coming to you post-commentary. Usually I record these live commentary, but after several failed attempts at what I was trying to do in this video, I decided to just be quiet and let myself play, and I would add commentary in later, which is what I'm doing. But either way, in this video we are playing the sub-games of Sonic Adventure DX in our quest to get all of the emblems. We got several of these during the main playthrough itself. Like, you can see here, the sub-games are just like the mini-games that you play throughout the story, like Sky Chase, and Sand Hill, and Hedgehog Hammer's another one. But either way, we didn't get all of the emblems from these. We're going to be going into Sand Hill first to get an emblem here, and we need to score a high score of 10,000 points. This took me several attempts. It is not easy to score 10,000 points. Essentially, what you want to do is hit as many of these gates in a row as possible while getting down the hill as quickly as you can. That's a lot harder than it sounds because this doesn't control great and Sand Hill itself is rather bumpy and unpredictable. But what you basically want to do is you need to score 5,000 points during the level and get a time bonus at the end of another 5,000 to get your 10,000 points for a high score. And what's even more annoying about that is that if you hit a speed booster while doing this to try to get yourself down the hill faster, you are more likely going to go sailing into a wall and it's going to screw you up entirely. The speed boosters really are more of a curse than they are a helping hand in these. But either way, we managed to get our 10,000 points during this particular run. Like I said, this took me quite a few tries to do. It was not an easy task, but there you go. That brings us up to 57 emblems. The next sub-game that we need to play is actually Hedgehog Hammer, which we did play twice during Amy's story in adventure mode. However, doing it then gave us Amy's character upgrades, and it didn't reward us with any emblems at all. I think you might actually have to come to trial mode and go to the sub-game menu in order to get these emblems. I don't know if you can get them during adventure mode. The only gameplay difference between this and the Hedgehog Hammer in adventure mode, though, is that you're sealed inside this room, and you can't wander around the egg carrier. Otherwise, it does play exactly the same. And while doing this 2 more times does seem kind of redundant to get more emblems, it did give me a better understanding of how getting these emblems works for the sub-games. You can get up to 2 emblems for any given sub-game that rewards them. And from what I can gather here, in order to get one of the emblems, all you need to do is clear the sub-game. It doesn't matter how badly you do. I actually do not badly, but pretty abysmally compared to my 4,900 high score. But, to my surprise, after the score counts down, it gave me an emblem anyway. I wasn't expecting that at the time. But, yeah, I guess just clearing any of these sub-games gives you an emblem. It doesn't really matter what you do during the sub-game. The other emblem that gets rewarded for these sub-games does seem to be strictly tied to getting a high score, though. And what's actually interesting about Hedgehog Hammer here is that the high score you need to beat is the score that you set during adventure mode, which I think is a pretty neat touch. It keeps track of that, and you have to continually do better than your previous scores in order to continue to get rewards for doing this. That being said, Hedgehog Hammer here, it can be a little wonky. It doesn't always seem like you're making your target or smashing Sonic heads at the right time, but things explode and you get points, and we ended up getting our second emblem for this pretty quickly. A nice 5,100 high score. And that brings us to 59 emblems. The third and final subgame that we need to do in order to get emblems is called Twinkle Circuit. And what Twinkle Circuit is a full kart race version of the first section of Sonic's Twinkle Park level. You know, the part of the game where you're racing around that racetrack and people are crashing into you and monkeys are tossing bombs at you, and it's all kinds of chaos. But there are no monkeys with bombs here. This is your standard 3-lap kart racer time trial mode, basically. And you also don't need to be playing as Sonic in order to get this. You can actually play as any character. Getting to Twinkle Circuit is pretty simple because it's easily accessible through the trial mode subgame menu. But if you want to, you can also get to Twinkle Circuit from the adventure field. In order to do that, though, you need to get an item called a kart pass, which is just lying around on the ground in Station Square. In fact, you need to get the kart pass in order to get to Twinkle Circuit at all with some characters on the adventure field, because Twinkle Circuit is located in the same hallway that Twinkle Park is, and normally only Sonic, Amy, and Big have access to that. But when you find the kart pass, you pick it up and you bring it to the Twinkle Park entrance with any character, and it lets you in. I did record myself finding the kart pass and opening up Twinkle Circuit from the adventure field, but my footage got kind of screwy for that, and I decided not to use it. But whatever. We're playing as Tails here, trying to get the best time, which isn't too hard. The best time is 10 minutes by default, and as you can see, each lap is taking me average of 40-something seconds. So I don't know why they set the best time so high. It's kinda confusing because this isn't really too difficult to begin with. It's kind of weird to control, but I don't know, I guess they just wanted to give you a fun kart racing minigame and an easy way to get emblems. Even though I crashed on that last lap and got a few seconds worse in my time, I still only took 2 minutes in order to get through this whole thing. And it gave me an emblem, and it rewarded us with Sonic Chaos, because we got 60 emblems. So we have another Game Gear game on our list. And of course, there are 2 emblems that you can get from Twinkle Circuit, so I ended up switching over to good old E102 Gamma in order to get the second one. But doing this ended up leading to a bit of confusion. Spoiler warning, I do get an emblem from doing this, but I actually end up doing worse on this than I did with Tails, by a good few seconds. Each character does have their own separate high score list for these sub-games, but I'm pretty sure when it comes to gathering the emblems, it counts them all together. Like, the high score that you score with one character is taken into consideration when you're playing in the same sub-game with a different character. So, theoretically, I should have to still be able to beat Tails' 211 high score on this in order to get the emblem for getting a high score on this sub-game. But it doesn't do that, and I don't really know why. I have a theory, though. If you set a high score the first time you do a sub-game, I think what the game does is it rewards you with the high score emblem for the sub-game first. So, like, I scored 211 with Tails, and the emblem I got wasn't for clearing the sub-game, it was for getting the high score, beating the best time. So, instead of getting a high score emblem, I'm getting a game clear emblem while playing as Gamma here. If that makes any sense, I don't know if what I'm saying is, like, making sense at all. I think it is. But I guess in the end, it doesn't really matter, because we end up getting the emblem anyway. And I think my time is gonna be about 2:18, 2:17, excuse me. But yeah, we'll see here in a second. Even though I did worse as Gamma, I end up getting my 61st emblem anyway. I don't know why. I don't know if the game is programmed as smartly as I'm giving it credit for, but whatever. Confusion aside, I guess all that really matters is that we got all of the emblems from doing the SLUP games, which are called mini-games in the emblem results for some reason. But we get 2 from Sky Chase Act 1, we got 2 from Sky Chase Act 2, we got 2 from Desert Hell, 2 from Hedgehog Hammer, and 2 from Twinkle Circuit, giving us a total of 61 emblems, and there's still quite a few to go. But we'll be getting to that another time. Thank you very much for watching my continuing adventure to get all of the emblems in Sonic Adventure DX. This is Sparky, signing off for now. I'll see you guys another time.